Okay, today I'm going to show you how to do my lasagna recipe. Now, in your recipe book, this is the hardest recipe that's in there. I created this recipe on my own. I had a bunch of random ingredients that I had to get rid of in my fridge when I was doing the grocery packs from Air Produce. And I had a bunch of things like I had a sweet potato, eggplant, zucchini, pumpkin. I had pork mince at the time and I decided to throw it all together and try just make something on my own. And I come up with this lasagna. So all of these ingredients, including like the things that you already would have at home, the milk, the butter, the flour, everything that you would normally have at home, everything come to $47.43. That's with the Coles special. So this is all you're gonna need. So you get one really large sweet potato, a nice large eggplant. Now I am making double. In your recipe I've got basically single digits, but I am gonna make double because I'm feeding a lot of people tonight. So I've got one really large brown onion, two large or medium to large zucchinis. Right, I've got a block of cheese. I've got 2 of these Italian diced tomatoes, just the Coles brand. I have 2 kilos of beef. Now you can use pork mince if you want to. Kiara prefers it with pork mince. I prefer it with beef mince. You've got your, I always use Flora margarine. I think that's really nice stuff. Right, I've got my lasagna sheets. I've got my garlic infused oil, which is a bit fancy, but it does taste really nice. I've got an entire butternut squash, my plain flour, and my milk. And nostamini. I am going to be putting these in your birthday present as well. So I'm going to give you a couple of nostamini because I put them in everything, alright? So, first thing you want to get started with is chopping up your vegetables and getting them in the oven. Because the sweet potato and the eggplant specifically, you want to be able to get them cooked all the way through. And then after that, you're going to get started on your squash. So, you want to get yourself a chopping board. A wet chopping board. I'll just dry it in my shirt, that's fine. Okay. Right, you're going to peel your sweet potato. I don't peel eggplant, some people do, I think it's weird. And some people also peel the zucchinis, also again, think it's weird. So you want to take the skins off of these and your skin off of your pumpkin, and then we will start the chopping process. So I'm going to cut to that so you don't have to watch fucking minutes of me peeling. Now, I've got Kiarie peeling the things that need to be peeled. So I'm going to show you how to, basically, what you want to do is you want to cut everything into large circles. You don't dice it because I want basically in the layer of the vegetables, it's just circles of vegetables. Yay thick. I'm gonna take that off the camera so you can see, honey. So that's how thick you want to focus. That's how thick you basically want your eggplant slices to be. So that's my phone. That's my phone, and that's how, do you see? It's just smaller than the thickness of my phone. Now I am making a bigger recipe. For your recipe, if you're just making a smaller batch, you want to get a smaller eggplant because eggplant is very bitter, and with too much eggplant, it's very overpowering. It's very, very bitter stuff. Here, we'll get Kiarie's first ever time tasting eggplant. Kiarie is not impressed. And if you do want a knife like this is my favorite knife. I actually got that from, you know those guys with the chicken cutlets in the woods and they like finger the chicken cutlets? This is their knife, Men with a Pot, and it is the best knife I own. By the way, you want to chuck your oven on to preheat. You want to preheat your oven on, you can do it 180. I'm going to do it 200 because we've got to go out. And normally this recipe takes me 3 hours, and I've got two people coming to help me. So then I can fucking slap, so I can finish it in time. Right, so same thing with your sweet potatoes. I'm going to cut them into those concentric circles like so. Here comes my second helper. Hello, second helper. Who's your first helper? Hey. Here, peel this.
How the fuck do you peel on a pumpkin? How the fuck do you peel a pumpkin?
Hello!
Yes, I've had sweet potato, haven't I? I don't even know it's my
Delicioso. Here, this is Kiarie trying some sweet potato.
You didn't even answer my question. Do you peel it like a normal thing?
Yeah.
The potato peeler?
Yes.
Oh.
It's like cooking the lessons of Emily for everyone. Kiarie's eating raw eggplant. Lily's learning how to peel a pumpkin. Now, another thing, with this recipe, you do not want to start cooking things before other things are on. You want to get everything prepared and then cook it sort of one after another, but have everything, all your elements ready, chopped, poured out, because it is a really hard recipe to do, especially if you're making it alone. Like, usually alone it takes me about 3 hours to make because it is such a bitch of a recipe. It's a lot of multitasking.
So if you're a man,
yeah, not for you. Now, same thing in your onion, you just want to cut it into circles. I'm going to cry doing this. Right, Kiarie's going to hold the tray, and then look. You just want to drizzle it with the oil, and then Kiarie is going to basically finger up all of the vegetables until they're nice and oily and drizzly. Now, that's empty, so I'm just going to grab some more oil.
This is so good camera.
I love that. Right, and you want to oil those vegetables all up, make sure they're nice and oily, and then put them all in the oven. And then you forget about them for about an hour. Right.
Also do like
Split your pumpkin, like so, and then just scoop out the seeds. And you can, if you're weird, you can roast pumpkin seeds. Some people do that. I think it's gross, but you can do it if you want.
ASMR.
Right, and in this recipe I do not use bechamel sauce. I basically use mashed pumpkin as a fake bechamel sauce because at the time I didn't have any, so I just made my own pumpkin mash, and I think it tastes better. Right, so now pumpkin takes a while to boil, so you want to cut them into like small pieces and then they boil faster. Because I'm using a whole pumpkin, usually use half a pumpkin. In your recipe anyway, use either a small butternut or half a pumpkin. Because I'm using the whole one, I have to use a pot size like this. Hold up. Very good, very nice. Which is in one of the, it's like the size you've got in your birthday collection. Your Christmas collection I got you. Okay, right, now you want to get onto your meat. So, in your recipe, it's a kilo, but because I'm making so much tonight, I've got basically, what, 1.8 I reckon. Oh no, this is 2 kilos exactly, so I've got 2 kilos of meat. Now, while we're doing that, when you've got this in there simmering, when it starts anyway, if you're doing this on your own, that's when you want to start grating your cheese. I always recommend buying it in blocks because in a block you get a kilo, whereas in a bag you only get like 500 grams. And it's like $3 extra than a bag. So, I definitely recommend getting a block, so start grating your cheese. So I'm going to get Lily to do for me. Lily, get the cheese. So you want to get some of your beef.
Normal grating.
And when you hear it sizzling, really sizzling, that's when you add it all in. And you want to basically, oh shit.
What'd you do?
I forgot they don't have ring pulls on them. What a silly bitch. Right, I'm gonna have to crack those open. Hey, can I borrow you for a second? I always also get the ones that are a little bit wonky because I feel bad for them. Listen, a nice sizzle. So go ahead and add all that beef. And you just want to slightly brown it. And then with the tin tomatoes, you got to stew the mince in your tin tomatoes. So then you're basically making your own tomato sauce without the jar shit. And really, it's just the same stuff. Here's your mince, it's stewing very nicely, and here is your pumpkins. Let's have a check on those as well. Check it out, very nice. Right, when that's a bit browner, I'll check back in, alright? Right, now, I'm just going to show you. You usually see that fucking, see all the water? Obviously mince releases shitloads of water. You want to basically cook that piss out, but honestly half the time I can't be fucked. If you can't be fucked cooking the piss out of it, then what I do is I scoop it out with a spoon and just put it into David's dog kibble. And then, you know, he's got nutritious and delicious, and I don't have to fucking sit there for half an hour and cook the piss out of the fucking mince. Right, I forgot our lasagna sheet. So basically, get one of these from Coles. Do you see, I think it's a 9-litre pot. Get one of these from Coles. It is the best thing for the lasagna sheet. This process is probably the trickiest part of it, because this is where you start to multitask, get everything done at once, and you can't let the lasagna sheets cook too little or too long. If they cook too long, they fall down at the bottom, you can't fucking get them out, and also you're gonna have to go get yourself a big fuck off pair of tongs. Right, you want to fill that up, and you can't let the boil water because then it boils over. It's a fucking prick of a thing to do. But on the box of these fucking lasagna sheets it says instant, ready to go, which basically means you can put them in the lasagna without pre-boiling them and they'll cook all the way through in the oven. That's a fucking lie. Don't let them trick you into thinking that'll work, because it doesn't. You'll have really chewy lasagna sheets. Right, that's exactly how you want it. Do you see that? Do you see? That is exactly how you want it. The pink is just there and a little bit of the bigger pieces. That's basically cooked all the way through. Now you can go and, you know, remove the piss, as I said you can if you'd like to. You're going to turn that back burner on, by the way. Turn that back burner on. Right, get your tomatoes and pour them in. And then turn the heat down and just let it simmer. You do not want to overcook your mince because it will stick and burn, and you don't want that to happen. Alright, give that a good stir. Now again, don't forget I'm cooking for more than one serving of this lasagna. So you probably only will need 1 tin and 1 packet of mince, like a kilo of mince, whereas I'm using 2. Right? Look at that. Oh, fuck, I forgot my nostamini, which I'm not meant to do. Right, just pretend I didn't forget the nostamini. Okay. Right, this is how much nostamini I put in, alright? You want to taste the seasoning. Nothing worse than watery, fucking tasteless mince. You want to put in a really good dousing of nostamini and mix that all in. And if you want, you can add some garlic mince. I've done that a couple times. You don't have to if you don't want to, but you can if you want to. Right, give that a little taste. Yep, I might even add more nostamini to that actually. You want to be able to taste your flavourings. Otherwise, what's the fucking point of putting it in there? Okay. That's better. You want to taste that saltiness through it. Right. I'm going to go ahead and change these over because that only needs to simmer now and I need to be able to get to this. But fuck knows how I'm going to do that. Yeah, right. What a fucking stupid idea that was. That's hot. Oh dear. Yeah, there you go, cuz. All good. So now, do not forget when you're doing this, because this is the part where you usually get distracted, do not forget to check your other elements while you are making your lasagna sheets. There we go. Right, give that a stir, make sure that's not sticking. Have a quick look at your veggies before you start. Right, that's starting to simmer, so turn that heat right down. I do not want that fucking starting to boil because it goes all over the fucking stove. Right, you get these lasagna sheets. Right, the way I do it is I get 3 at a time. You need really long tongs, so then, do you see that? Otherwise you get short tongs, they just fall in the water, and then what's the fucking point of that? Right, get your tongs, separate them like so. Right, lasagna sheet on that side of the tong. Lasagna sheet on that fucking hot fuck. Right, lasagna sheet on that side of the tong. Now very, 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 very carefully balance that in the middle. Now we wait. Right, as you can see, I've gotten a second pair of tongs here just because this one in the middle will try to fall down on you. And you just hold it like that. And while you're doing that, keep your spoon here, just make sure that meat does not stick, because if once it burns, you cannot get rid of that fucking burnt taste. Alright, check your pumpkin. And you want to get a knife and just check how soft that pumpkin is, because I want to know if it's done yet or not. Excuse me. You're excused. Not even close. Right, that's not cooking, so I'm going to put that lid back on. Increase the heat inside the pot. Right. Now again, you do not want to make these too soft, because once they go too soft, they will cook. Don't get me wrong, they cook halfway if you don't boil them first, but if you boil them first, you know, guarantee that you've got a nice soft pasta. Otherwise, you've just got chewy crap. So, but you don't want to go all the way through, because then they become really, really hard to work with. They fall to the bottom of the pan. It's a fucking bitch of a thing to get out. Alright, now, see how it's got a wiggle to it? It's just a bit softer than what we need. Alright, put on one sheet. If you put them all together, they will stick. And this will stick anyway. It's a bit of a bitch to, sometimes you eat paper, but you know what? You eat paper when you eat Starburst, so too bad. Right, another sheet. And basically you want to do that with 9 sheets of lasagna. Alright? Well, between every sheet that you do, just check on your other elements, give them a stir. That pumpkin's still cooking. They're not burning. Very swag. That's ready. Obviously you just put a knife through it, and if it goes straight through, that's ready to go. So I'm going to call Ethan in here to make that mash, and I'll get him to show you. And I've turned the heat off of this. And when I dish it up, I'm going to be using something like this. Just something with holes in it, just to sort of get all that, you know, soupy piss out of it.
Let's see, will it stay? It will stay.
Add some milk.
Why are you using a wall spoon? He's using this one. Don't eat the fucking cheese.
No.
You're literally eating it right in front of us. Stop eating the cheese.
How's that?
I'm not done.
I would like to try some.
No.
I want some. Ow.
Hope it's hot.
More salt. More salt. Way more salt.
More salt.
That was a lot of salt. The only thing good salt's good for is if you work in
Too much salt. For your cheese sauce, one, you need to use a whisk, alright? Now, don't forget, I'm making 2 times the amount, so what you're going to want to do, turn on your heat, right? Okay. So you're using 500 milliliters, whereas I'm using a litre of milk. Where's my fucking milk on? I'm using a litre of milk. You do not want to add the flour until your butter's melted all the way through, so you need 50 grams of butter. This is 100 grams of butter, but you're going to need 50. Okay, add that to your milk. Now the one thing you do not want to happen, I love the smell of butter. Right, anyway, one thing you do not want to happen is you do not want your milk to start curdling. So you just keep whisking it until that butter melts, which will take a little bit. Right, look at that. Your butter is now melted and your milk is still liquidy. You do not want that thickening up. So if that thickens up without that flour, it means you're curdling it. Right, get your sift. Oops. Okay, right, don't do that. Right, chuck in your flour. And that's just to avoid lumps. You don't really want a lumpy cheese sauce. Right, do not stop whisking now. Now make your paste. So you just keep whisking until that starts to thicken up, which it will do very, very quickly. Now you can see I've got my heat on a high, on the highest one. You can simmer it if you want. I prefer to do it on flat out high level. And at first it will seem like it's doing nothing, but right now I'm already starting to feel a little bit of resistance. Let it go for a second. Alright, and just letting it stick to the bottom for just that few seconds. Will help the thickening process. Okay. Right, off. See how it started to bubble? Alright, get your cheese. In with the cheese. You do not add the cheese when it's still on the hot top, okay? In with the cheese. Just let that sit there for a sec. Melt that cheese a little bit and I'll get the rest. Your vegetables are done. Take your veggies out. I just want to try to drain out some of that water. Don't think I'm going to be able to, but that's okay. Right, slay. Right, get your lasagna sheets. Now, you want to make sure you're making like a lasagna sheet sandwich, because then your lasagna sheets are going to keep cooking in that hot stuff. Okay, put it the other way then. Fuck you, lasagna sheet. This one fucking broke on me, the dumb dog. Okay. Right, rip that in half. One there. And then rip that in half. And just put one up here. And might put some over here. Have fun with it. Get creative. Right. Cheese sauce. Vegetables. So you just want to layer them like this, you see? Some vegetables. Very nice vegetables. It's actually, I think, a very healthy lasagna, if you ask me. I might even only have enough for one layer of pumpkin mash, I think. Yep, that's alright. We'll just do one, that's fine. The element is still there, you still taste it, but that's fine. In it goes. Yum yum. Lasagna. Okay, cheese sauce. Yeah, cheese sauce. Whatever, then we're gonna make a little mini lasagna. Okay. Oh god. Oh. Okay. Right. Leave that in there until your fucking cheese is really, really brown and bubbly. I'm gonna make a second batch for later. There you go. Look at that. She's ready. And then I've cut it into 8 pieces, and then I've got that left over. So That's how much lasagna she makes. Happy cooking!